Alright, more snake-headed mushrooms. That's always good. Oh, so these are Yaksha archers. Okay. That didn't break them? Interesting. Okay, then. So what determines whether or not the big spooky lantern guys want to kill me? Because I think I'm in big spooky lantern guy mode right now. Yeah, I am. And why does it give me like enemy vision? Is this like the maddening bell or whatever that they were talking about in the lore? It's gonna kill me. All right. 1662 right off the bat. It's not bad. Okay, fuck it. Fuck you. Come on. Alright, my max health is like madly decreasing and I don't understand what's happening. I'm like straight up not following like what's actually occurring right now. Like what the mechanic is, I have no fucking clue. All right, let's see. Okay, refined iron sand. That's nice. Huh. Yep, enemy, that's fine. Come on. Fine China T-Bowl. What does this one do? Modern, yeah, don't need that, that's fine. Oh, oops. Did not mean to press Y. I have a bunch of new, like, entries to read. We'll do that all in a row in a minute. What is in here? Anything good? Refined iron sand. Alright, what am I supposed to do when this happens? Like, what is making this happen? What is this place, and where am I? And what does this do? I don't know what that purple circle is. Okay. It's fine. And this is just back where I started, isn't it? Oh, fucking A. So some of these are marked with purple. So that I must need a key of some kind to get into them. Or like, it's like Latria. It's doing Latria, but poorly. I guess Wo Long also had a prison level. A not very good prison level. Everyone just wants to redo Latria. It's just one of the best levels in any video game ever, so every game that takes any sort of inspiration from Souls is just like, I'll do Latria too. And it's never very good. Okay, that's an invisible wall, so I can't do anything there. Alright, let's see. Okay, yeah, this just leads back to where I was, so we're gonna go this way now. I should probably read those journal entries here soon enough, but... It has to, so I think the madness or whatever has something to do with this circle thingy, this circle thingy, this like bell in the center of the room, but I'm not sure how it actually correlates. Precautionist says Cape Escape has a prison level to end all prison levels. It's alright. We do okay for ourselves. It's I'm gonna be honest. Nothing. I don't think anything we're making is gonna quite be Latria, but you know, very few things can be. We're also not trying to do Latria, so it's okay. No, what the fuck? There's fall damage now too? What? Ugh. This game makes me want to pull my eyeballs out. Just so fucking inconsistent. Also, really fucking weird that it can spawn you into the cycle here that is reducing your health or whatever over time. I really don't know what's happening. Like, I wish I knew. I think the only thing I can possibly correlate it with is the fact that the bell thingy in the center looks like it's moving faster. But like, what it actually does and why it's doing it, couldn't fucking tell you. No idea. Back to here. No insanity happening. Oh, wait, what the fuck? What are you... What happened? Oh my god. Because when you're running on that platform, or on that ledge, you actually can't move. It's just a straight line. Until the very end when you can wobble off. Like, all you have to do there is hold forward. Like, I tried wiggling my stick while I was running on it, and it didn't make a difference. Fucking A, man. What a... This game has some, like, really serious jank issues. Because, like, with this, for example, like... What the fuck? Oh my god. I don't know how to describe it. It's... You're on rails until all of a sudden you're not. So if you try to jump, you jump forward and then your character, like, veers off to the left or right. But like, how else? But if you do this, you fall off the edge. So how am I supposed to avoid the arrows? The bell is doing it as long as it's moving. You're inflicted with madness, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. But the question is like, is there counterplay, or is it just like a hard attrition check where the moment the bell turns around, you just have to sacrifice half your life bar? Okay. Alright, don't fucking throw me off again. Jesus Christ. I think this game is kind of dog shit. I try not to be overwhelmingly negative about games that I'm streaming, but I went into this game kind of looking forward to it, and I regret having bought it. I think that this game is not good. Like, actively not very good. And, like, you know, playing, like, 9 Souls and stuff right before this, like, it just makes this stand out as, like, this game that had a gargantuan amount of money and attention put onto it that just, like, straight up doesn't deserve it. Like, don't get me wrong, the game is beautiful. The graphics are incredible. But it feels like a game that was designed by aliens that heard about what video games are, but have no idea how to actually make them. The only thing you heard about this game was like culture war type shit. Yeah, people are perpetuating a culture war about this game. They shouldn't be. It's not worth that. Like, there are so many other reasons to criticize this game that like aren't rooted in just like stupid reactionary bullshit. Like, no, that ain't it. This game's bad for other reasons. I'm mad. It just feels very Rise, Son of Rome. The Order 1886. Scoot says, I didn't even know what genre it was. I think a lot of people didn't, because this game was sold to a lot of people as like Chinese Sekiro, Chinese Souls-like, but actually it's closer to like God of War or like Devil May Cry maybe, but like with less flashy combos. It's a very linear, level-based action RPG, is like the only way to describe it. Oh. All right. We have a bunch of these to read now. Supporter Monk. Strength and no place to show, lifting stones a futile throw. Eyes bright, yet lost in haze, empty gaze in self's maze. In the past, the craftsmen building the Grand Hall of the New West frequently encountered strange occurrences, leading many to quit. Curious, one craftsman sought out the abbot, reputed to be a high monk, for answers. The abbot, without hesitation, led him to the Great Pagoda, where he revealed the Lantern Warden. The craftsmen were terrified, having heard of Yaoguais in their youth, but never having seen one. At that moment, a wondrous sound echoed through the Great Pagoda, and the Lantern Warden emitted a blinding light, causing the craftsmen to lose their sight. They cried out in despair. The abbot smiled and said, to see the truth, one must be willing to sacrifice. You might as well stay in this temple and practice the path to ultimate bliss with me. Perhaps you will have the chance to transcend the mortal realm and reach Buddha's kingdom. Realizing they were now blind and unable to find work, the craftsmen decided to abandon their secular world and join the temple. They asked the abbot how they should practice, and he replied, whatever you are skilled at, practice that. The craftsmen, known for their great strength, decided to pursue enlightenment through martial arts. Despite their blindness, they trained under the temple's overseeing monks. They tied large stones to iron chains and attached them to their wrists, lifting daily. They also conveniently prepared the stones needed for the temple's construction. The abbot was pleased and appointed them as supporter monks, saving considerable amounts of labor cost. Blade Monk. A foolish monk hears wise voice divine, beheading seen as practice so refined. Crooked paths lead to twisting ways, the blade awakens yet the mind strays. The Yakshas who sought refuge in the New West were mostly unwilling to sever their old grudges and thus lived as laid disciples in the temple. Some Yakshas, however, aspired to attain enlightenment and shave their heads to become inner disciples. They'd promised their master to behead 1,000 heads to prove their resolve. Yellowbrow was pleased and bestowed upon them monk blades, calling them blade monks. Okay. And allowed them to practice in the Pagoda realm. If they truly managed to behead 1,000, they could become arhats in the main hall. Initially, the Blade Monks thought this task would be easy, as the Pagoda realm was filled with newcomers to the practice. However, as the path to enlightenment grew more challenging, the remaining inhabitants of the Pagoda realm were all formidable. The agile and elusive starved abominations who they couldn't catch, the long-limbed lantern wardens whom they dared not provoke, the temperamental enslaved yakshas they fear their nasty vengeance, and even weakest yaksha archers who had become mad and terrifying after practicing the closed-eye meditation. Seeing that the red-haired yaksha often sat quietly alone, appearing very docile, they decided to target him. Though the red-haired yaksha believed all things deserved to live, he harbored a deep hatred for those who beheaded others due to the war that destroyed his nation. Thus he showed no mercy and beheaded the Blade Monks instead. After this lesson, the Blade Monk became more subdued but remained resentful. He was supposed to be Blade Monks. They often hid in corners, ambushing passersby to add to their count of beheadings through such treacherous means. Starved abomination. Abominations do roam the frosty chilling path with swollen bellies, necks adorned in wrath. They spread their malice, cunning and so sly, you fear their presence loathsome to the eye. In the past, at the foot of the New West, was a village called Changguang. In this village lived a young man who had pledged his life to the childhood sweetheart, giving her a white jade pendant as a token of their love, vowing to propose once he became successful. The young man was a peddler, making a living by trading grain in the surrounding areas. One day, a luxurious boat sailed down the river near the village, more splendid than anything the villagers had ever seen. At the bow stood a fat monk in a yellow robe radiating golden light. The villagers believed he must be an enlightened monk. After the arrival of the boat, the temple in the mountains grew larger and larger, and the young man's grain trade flourished. Once the young man went to trade grain and did not return for over a month. The girl, worried, inquired about the temple's location and went there to find him. When the young man finally returned to the village, they missed each other, and the girl disappeared. The young man gathered some brave villagers to search for her in the mountains. They found no trace of her, but came across a towering pagoda by the riverbank. The young man led them there to rest. As they approached the pagoda, the door suddenly opened. Curious, someone peeked inside and screamed. Behind the door was a dungeon extending deep underground, seemingly holding many people. The villagers, filled with righteous anger, stormed into the pagoda. After a few steps, they heard a loud bang, and the door vanished. Strange-looking yaoguais with sides and huge bellies emerged from the prison, laughing wickedly. One of them threw a bag of money to the young man and then eagerly leaped forward, swinging his scythe and cutting the nearest villagers into pieces. Realizing they had been deceived by the young man, the villagers fled deeper into the prison. The young man watched them and murmured, "Having lost my love, I cannot afford to lose my wealth." Lantern Warden. Ancient temple trees reach high, in dungeon shadows life's threads lie. In darkness light appears, most vivid at the abyss near. The yakshas who sought refuge in the New West were mostly unwilling to sever their old grudges and thus lived as lay disciples in the temple. Some yakshas, however, aspired to attain enlightenment, shave their heads, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god. This is just the Blade Monk description, copy-pasted by mistake. Are you seriously fucking me right now? Like, this is crazy. That's really sad. Wikipedia says this is the studio's third game. It doesn't feel like it. It sure doesn't. Holy crap. This is yeah, this is bananas. Okay, so we just don't get a description of the Blade Warden, the Lantern Warden. They worked on 2 mobile games before this. Okay, so this is their first game. Got it. Enslaved Yaksha. Oh, true kindness, how pure and bright. Yet karma binds in debts of blight. With halberd in hand, I fear their gaze. From humble roots my sorrow stays. In the northwest borderlands of the kingdom of Yue Tuo, there was a small village where an elderly couple had been childless for many years. One day, the old man went into the mountains to chop wood and discovered a young child under an ancient tree. The child's skin was dark and his appearance frightening, quite different from the village children. Seeing his frail limbs and body covered in scars, the old man assumed he was a refugee and brought him home. The old woman also found the child unusual and initially wanted to send him away. However, after washing, dressing, and feeding him, she couldn't help but feel some affection for him. After some discussion, the couple decided to keep him. At first, the couple treated the child very well, but within half a year, due to his strange appearance, the villagers began to gossip and call him Ugly Slave. The old couple, feeling ashamed, also started to treat him less kindly and even called him Ugly Slave. Within 2 years, his skin turned a dark green, and the couple made him wear thick clothes to cover his entire body, forbidding him to take them off even in scorching heat. 3 years later, the Ugly Slave grew more robust, and horns began to sprout from his head. The old man, increasingly fearful, confined him to the woodshed. Whenever he was displeased, he would enter and whip the child, sometimes even using a hatchet to cut off his horns, leaving him covered in blood. The old woman, disgusted by the sight, would cover his head with a burlap sack. The ugly slave endured this torment in the woodshed for another 5 years. One day, a group of wandering Yakshas passed by and heard curses in the Yaksha language coming from the woodshed. They broke in and found their tormented kin. They gave the ugly slave a long halberd, and in his fury he stormed to the house and repaid the old couple for all they'd done to him. Years later, the ugly slave's resentment still simmered, but only by tormenting his prey could he find any semblance of joy. Alright, that's all the new ones, I think. That, I can't believe the lantern. What a... Yeah, look. So, the description is correct here, but then when you switch to the full view, it reads the Blade Monk. The ancient temple on the mountain peak, weathered by the passage of time, had gradually fallen into disrepair. When the abbot returned after many years and saw the temple in such a state of ruin, he was filled with sorrow. Determined to restore the temple to its former glory, he spent a large amount of gold and silver to fund its reconstruction, hoping to showcase his path to the ultimate bliss. Ugh. What a disaster. This game is a mess. Soulslike says, just wait till you get to the boss right after the section made me quit the game for a while. I am not looking forward to it because so far the bosses in this game have not been that great. I like Tiger Vanguard, and that's about it. White-Clad Noble was irritating, but wasn't awful, like from a design standpoint. It was fine. God. What a frustrating experience. Oh, that's the red-haired one. What the fuck? Are you kidding? Wait, why did that undo my magic? My parry? Fuck. Red-haired Yaksha. With sword in hand, the foe's chest pierced, blood-soaked hair in battle fierce. Endless sorrow for a fallen land, east wind sighs as west winds stand. In the kingdom of Yaksha, there were 8 great generals, one of whom was named Miyan. He had practiced under the Golden Summit Immortal at the Yugen Temple at the foot of Mount Lingshan. Having fought in countless battles, he possessed the valor of a warrior who could face 10,000 enemies. When a formidable enemy attacked, the Yaksha king appointed Mian as a vanguard general. Mian set up a large camp at the border and addressed his soldiers. If any of you fear battle, you may leave today, and I will not hold it against you. But if we lose this place, the kingdom will fall. Our elders, children, and all our wealth will be handed over to the enemy. With these words, he and the entire enemy army swore a blood oath to advance and never retreat. The Yaksha army, isolated and outnumbered, faced an enemy that surrounded them on all sides, their banners blotting out the sky. Wave after wave of enemy forces attacked relentlessly. Mian and his troops fought fiercely, suffering heavy casualties. Ultimately, Mian was surrounded by numerous Arhats and was beheaded. The soldiers, having sacrificed countless lives, retrieved their general's head. Placing Mian's head in a coffin, they saw his body slowly sit up and lament. If we lose our homeland, what difference does it make whether I have a head or not? With these words, he closed his eyes and fell back, finally passing away. Blood gushed from his neck, staining his hair red. Later, his subordinates, in a display of loyalty and bravery, poured the enemy's blood over their heads, emulating Mian. Despite their valor, the kingdom of Yaksha was ultimately destroyed, but not a single soldier from Mian's army deserted. Final boss of this act is an unavoidable attack that puts you in a cutscene, randomly negates your spells, and still causes cooldown and mana loss. That's awful. But given how fucking inconsistently spells seem to work in this game, and how you can just lose them for the slightest inconvenience, the enemy just looks at you wrong while you're trying to do them, like, I'm not gonna count on shit for that. Like, ugh. This game is so frustrating. Just so endlessly frustrating. And the thing is there is a skeleton of a very good and cool game here. The issue is just that it doesn't have the execution to pull it off at all. Just like really unable to really string it together. Oh, fuck. Bye. Where's the... There we go. There's the shrine. Jesus Christ. No, I didn't want to equip that. I just wanted to make it. After using the attack gourd, moderately increase attack. Refrain from using gourd for a relatively long duration, moderately reduces attack on the contrary. What? What the fuck is the attack gourd? I don't understand what that means. Rich Beast. Bidden Antler. I don't really understand how to use this stuff. I don't understand why the loot also has, like, rarity things. It's not like this is a loot-based game. Alright, we got all of the meditation spots there. What am I looking for? There we go. Equipment. Oh, it's just new. I really wish they didn't have this, like, new thing in there. Tiger's Acolyte. This could be fun just to put, but I don't really have the resources to make it better, so. Oh, that seems really good. Successful hit with the light attack combo. And don't think I need that. There you go. Is there anything over here? No, just more of that purple thing that I can't interact with. I didn't rest. Oops.